Hey there, Justice 3 Gaming. Welcome back to another daily dose of Marvel Strike Force. And what we're going to be doing today is how to beat the bio section of Doom 2 using the Web Warriors. I've been trying to get to all three of these nodes, so we're going to jump to it real quick. I'll do my positioning and ISO or recommendations at the end of this video. I should be able to get through these three nodes pretty quickly. I do believe in doing these how to beats live because there can be some unpredictable things that are going to happen here, and hopefully everything goes well and you guys can see how this team does during raids. This is probably one of the hardest hitting raids right now in a Marvel Strike Force. Good through every single campaign raid, well, Greek raids, whatever you want to call them. Greek raids, raids, because they're a raid team, so they're going to work anywhere that they can be used for their tags. But the hardest hitting team in the game right now in the raids. So if you're thinking about taking a universal team all the way through your beginning of your roster, do that because they are absolutely amazing. They're going to be good all the way through Doom 2 until you know, obviously they're going to be coming up with new raids and things like that for the future, and more than likely there'll be a new team for that or a new completely different set of teams that you're going to need to be able to do those. Who knows what they're going to do. So let's jump into this before my lane mates come in and steal away these nodes. Now, everything about using the Web Warriors, especially during Doom 2, is about preserving the chain, making sure that you're neutralizing any immediate threats and making sure that this team can move through one character to the next, because they more than likely will be critting and killing as they move. Alright, first things first, I am going to try to neutralize Strife here with the ult and get a disrupt out there to as many characters as possible. My next target is going to be Emma Frost. I'm going to attempt to ability block her, probably kill one or two more characters. Yeah, and she went out. I'm going to choose somebody with a vulnerability, because I have Striker on him and he's going to get an additional attack, and having a high evasion or high dodge character is a good idea. Alright, let's see if we can move through these two. Alright, I'm going to get a defense down across the board. Who do I want to slow down? Nobody in particular, so I'm going to kill Electro. I'm going to move down the line again. I'm going to use his special. And then we're just going to basic our way through this. Mostly because it's just the fastest way to get through. No reason other than that. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, let's take a look at our characters list. All right, the quick rundown right here is to make sure the taunt is off right away. The dangerous part of this group is actually Phyla Vel. If you let her do her attacks, she has one of the strongest hitting base damages for a protector in the game, so you got to be careful with that, and they throw like 3 of them at you. Moon Knight obviously is going to try to lay down as many negative statuses as you can, but you're going to sort of get stuck by characters like Crossbones and Bishop. My first initial attack strategy here is to neutralize Zemo and Kingpin. Miles Morales' basic is key in this fight. Yeah, I'm going to block Kingpin. And it's awesome that that vulnerability is on Zemo because we are aiming to take him out. It's one of the key reasons why I have him at striker. I'm going to aim for Phyla-Vell here because I'm going to try to set up the next wave. All right, this is a really good setup. I should be able to spread offense down to the rest of this group. If they didn't die, it would matter. So let's see here. I am gonna stun her or kill her outright. All right, Bishop, doesn't matter who hits him. He's gonna counter anyways, no matter what. So I'm just gonna use my basic there to get rid of the taunt. All right, here though is a good opportunity to try to neutralize Moon Knight. I am gonna take his speed bar. Bishop could be taken out here. That's actually a pretty good idea. Phyla-Vell's got a defense down. I need to take advantage of it. Why did that just go down to like 1? That was weird. Ooh, 1 Phyla-Vell. That's a good day. Wonder if we could do anything about that offense up. We can remove it. I'll make it that much harder for him to nail his ult. If he doesn't die. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this was a best case scenario here. And now the one note that I didn't get a chance to do earlier on the last how to beat bio. So what we really need to do here, the strategy is actually pretty easy for the web warriors. Red Guardian is going to come in real quick with his taunt and protect this entire group of characters. But once you remove that, you have to switch your priority over to Doom, because you guys should already know how dangerous Doom is right now, and he needs to go ASAP. Now, if you do this quick enough, this team does have the damage power to take him out early. After that, though, it's pretty much just you know, controlling the areas and preserving the chains as you move through this team. It should be easy going after Doom is gone. It will take a few practice rounds for you to be able to figure out where Doom lies on that scale. So right here, basic. That'll take out that taunt. And now you're ready. You have to have that ability block. And what you're aiming for here is to redline him as soon as possible. Make sure he gets that energy, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it as long as he's got an ability block. That's his Achilles heel. Now, most of these guys are going to end up killing themselves to begin with, because this team is big on attacking back with Ghost. Now, I am going to try to neutralize the taunt from Red Guardian, so I am going to put that Disrupt down and hopefully get a few others. Alright, time to spread some love around. And Vision's got a defense down and an offense down. Now, my bigger concern here is actually Rescue. She can remove all this beautiful negative status, so I'm actually going to go for an ult on this one. But she has a vulnerability, so if she doesn't go out in this shot, she will on the second. All right, I am going to stun Bishop. That'll keep him from doing any big attacks right away, even though the threat level here is now practically 0. The screen's black for you? That's usually Tamesh 2. That's usually something on your end. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Let me finish up this fight real quick. Let's get rid of that taunt on Bishop. And now we can focus on the more important characters like Captain America Sam. Got 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. I might be cutting it pretty close. Alright, who's about to go on something? Yeah, we're gonna stop that from happening. I'm gonna take her speed bar. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go for Sam since he's got that defense down. Goodbye, Sam. Alright, preserve the chain in the corner, so that's what I'm going for. And she removed it. Not a big deal. All I was aiming for was the vulnerabilities. And boom, boom, boom. Alright, he is no danger. I'm going for rescue. Alright, Tamesh 2, I will check my browser here real quick for you. See what's going on. Oop, not YouTube. I'm going to Twitch. Going to Twitch. I need to check why people can't see the screen, or at least why Tamesh 2 can't see the screen. Yeah, it looks like I mean right here I'm live and I can see myself playing the game, everything. Oh, right, I'm playing the game, but I can see myself looking at the browser and everything. Tamesh 2, I'm not entirely sure what's going on your end. Try a different browser like Microsoft Edge or Chrome, you know, whichever one you're not using currently. Unless you're on your phone, I suppose that would be a different story altogether. I am multi-streaming, so if you want to check this series of nodes for the bio, you can head over to YouTube, and it's probably live right there. Check that out, see if it's working right. Sometimes Twitch gets a little bit weird when you guys are watching. All right, so hopefully, Tamesh 2, you can get that working for you. I'm going to go over the team right now, currently where I have them, and why I chose what I chose. All right, first off, let's go with positioning. Now, there is no taunt on this team to be able to use, so you have to go with a strategy of mitigation, which just means limiting the amount of damage that the important characters can receive during the fight. Now, the two most important characters that you need standing is Spider-Punk and Scarlet Spider. You don't want to put them next to each other because those are the two key characters you want to have standing. When one goes down, that's okay, you could still survive the fight, but you know, if you get both, you know, taking you know, chain damage and things like that, that's bad news. Now, ultimately, you can't control where your enemy is going to be attacking you, but you can control where the damage is going to be coming from. And so I use Ghost Spider and Miles Morales to separate the two characters. That's a really good position because Miles Morales will trigger stealth quite often, and you can't move through him when he has stealth. So at most, when the enemy is attacking, they got to go through that side of the characters or the other. Now, all of these characters in the Web Warriors do have high dodge or high evasion possibilities for their characters, especially characters like Spider-Man or Miles Morales, because they have abilities and kits that actually support that. Now, for raids, we're going to talk ISOs now. Scarlet Spider can react to the vulnerabilities on the field pretty regularly, and he's the only one that I actually have on there like that, because I do use his basic more than anything. Unless I see a chance, or maybe there's already a bunch of offense downs and defense down on the field already, I don't need that basic, so I can use his special, which actually has a chain in it. And you know, if you just look at your screen and see where all the characters are positioned, the enemy characters are positioned, you can see where your character is going to be going and then choose accordingly. You ultimately want to choose the character that already has a vulnerability on it, so that way you can get that extra step in, possibly a kill shot. In raids, that will happen more times than not. Outside of raids, I'm toying with the idea of actually changing Scarlet Spider to a healer class, because it'll allow him to survive much more. And I do have them on my defense because, you know, you got to have this team strong for the raid, so it just makes sense at this high of gear level to just put them on defense until you're ready to move a team in that's specifically made for it. That's what I did with the symbiotes, and now I'm doing it with the Web Warriors. Now, I did choose Skirmisher for Ghost. She's gonna go ahead and lay down the most negative statuses on this team, and the more negative statuses that you have, the more healing possibilities because of Scarlet Spider's passive for the rest of this team. And you really want to get those negative statuses to drop down on those high resistance characters, because those are the ones that can cause you problems if your team is unbalanced. And balance is the key to any team in the game, no matter what mode you're in. And since Miles Morales tends to go first and he gets a lot of speed, having him with the Raider is great. Not only because, you know, his basic is extremely useful, Disrupt is one of the most powerful debuffs in the game. They just won't be able to, you know, take on any positive statuses if they got that there. And with Punk Spider here, during raids, you're getting an enormous amount of crit rate for this entire team. It's one of the reasons why they're the hardest hitting raid team in the game. And Spider-Man, he's already got a really good focus. This whole team does. He's going to be spreading defense down through most of his team. He's got a good small chain for his basic, but he hits really hard, and especially since he has a very tasty stun that you can pick and choose what character to stall for the time being. Characters like Doom if you need it, or better yet, Black Bolt, because if you do that and one of your characters is a little bit weaker than they should be, that stun will help Black Bolt not kill your characters off right away and allow the rest of the team to lay down those negative statuses, so that way you can heal them back up from the brink of destruction. Now remember, best foot forward is always the strategy to go when you're developing a team for your raids, because ultimately that's where you're going to get all the best stuff to be able to progress your roster even farther. And right now it's like the only way really to get a good number of teal and those T2 ISO blues. What's the good thing about the Raider in this instance is that you're going to be getting some I believe we're going to go into one of the characters real quick. Yes, I'm gonna cancel that. Let's bring them up real quick so we can have some more talking points for each one of these characters. So we'll go in there and we'll look at the Raider class so you know what I'm talking about here. So on crit, vulnerabilities. So you already know this team is going to be laying them out really thick by way of that. The best part right here is on active ability hit, 20% chance to bonus attack the target for 30% piercing and apply a vulnerability up to a max of 3. Now, 30% piercing is extremely useful, especially if you're going after characters like Bishop or Crossbones, who are protectors and they're supposed to have a decent number on their armor. Well, piercing's gonna cut right through that. So just like you guys saw on this session of how to beat the bio in Doom 2, you know, I got real lucky on, you know, some of the attacks, and that 30% piercing was clearly being triggered as this team was just moving right through the nodes like butter. Especially that last part, and you really need these guys to hit super hard to get Doom neutralized. Once that happens, it's actually the rest of the group is pretty easy, because this team works so well together, you know, synergistically, that you will be successful the more that you invest into this team. And I do highly recommend that you do, because now that you know, Doom 2 has very team specific or trait specific areas of the game, you need this team to work well. And if you are a bigger fan of a different mode in the game, like Alliance War, or maybe you're an RTA person, or you're specifically here for the arena or blitzes, at the very least, you got this team settled. They're going to score very high for you in the blitz. You do have to make sure your choices are pretty wise once you get up there, because they're doing like gear 17s and things like that for me in blitz. You probably see an example of that right now, actually. I think they're at 8-3 right now. No, they're not. But no, 5s. Yeah, I just went for the milestones on these ones. All right, but you know, when you get up there with a team at this kind of power level, you just you fight some of the most unbalanced teams out there. But even when, you know, I have to sim through it because I don't have like all day to play, and I wish I did. But at the same time, this is a mobile game. You're limited by the energy that you have here. So all in all, that was a good session. I hope you guys found it useful. Just remember, when you're moving through and you're using the strategies that I used here, that first and foremost, make sure your team is balanced. That way you know where to correct any imbalances in your team. I do recommend that if you're just trying to get this team to work well, make sure you get those passives done. But then look through each one of the characters and see where you can benefit the most by putting a T4 in, where it would be most beneficial. For instance, since I am using Scarlet Spider here in Striker for his ISO, he's going to benefit greatly by getting that extra damage on that basic that he has for his character. So I hope you found this one very helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you guys here are just on Twitch, if you want to head over there, subscribe to the channel, I'll be able to respond to any of your comments right there, so I know they're there, because, you know, YouTube will let me know what's going on, and I will do the very best to answer your question. If you have any advice for me, that's even better, because I get better in the game the more that you guys try to teach me something that I might not actually know, or maybe I just made a mistake on something that I said, and I would like to know that, because correcting your mistakes is what you should be doing to begin with. So until the next session of Marvel Strike Force, guys, that's going to be it for me today here on Marvel Strike Force. I hope you all have a great day today. I wish you all passion, love, and gaming, and never forget, rule number 1 of gaming is you go where the fun is, and that's what I've done here today. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you on the next one. I am going to be on here in a couple of hours to do some more Elden Ring if you're interested in that, so hopefully I'll see you there too.